Your mum had one of these on the sideboard. Your nan had too. And most families threw them out in the 80s without a second thought, because they were just things. Ordinary things. The stuff of every British front room. Today, collectors pay thousands of pounds for them. Here are 14 things sitting in ordinary British homes in the 1970s that are worth serious money now, counting down to one that sold for more than a house deposit. And there's a decent chance it's still in your loft. Item 14. Hornsea pottery. Let's start in the kitchen. If you grew up in 70s Britain, you know Hornsea. The brown and cream storage jars, the Bronte range, the heirloom range, tea, coffee, sugar, in that chunky lettering. Every kitchen in the country had a set lined up on the shelf. Hornsea was Yorkshire made, and everywhere, which is exactly why it's the cheapest thing on this list. Common pieces still turn up in charity shops for a few pounds. But here's what's changed. 70s interiors came roaring back into fashion, and complete matching sets in good condition now sell for far more than singles. The rarer colorways and the discontinued shapes are the ones to look for. It's not retirement money, it's that shelf of old jars just paid for a weekend away money. And it gets a lot better than that. Item 13. Portmeirion Botanic Garden. 1972. Susan Williams Ellis designs a pattern of botanical illustrations on cream earthenware. And Portmeirion Botanic Garden becomes the wedding present of the decade. If your parents got married in the 70s, someone gave them a piece of this. The pattern is still in production, which caps the value of the common pieces. But the original 70s ones are different. The early backstamps, the discontinued motifs, the serving pieces that nobody bought because they cost too much at the time. Complete original dinner services in unchipped condition regularly reach the low hundreds. The lesson that runs through this entire list: it's never the thing everyone kept. It's the thing everyone used and broke. Item 12. Pyrex. Speaking of which, British Pyrex, made by J.A.J. in Sunderland, not the American stuff, was in every kitchen in the country. The opal white dishes with the patterns printed on the side: Gooseberry, Chelsea, June Rose, Autumn Glory. You baked in them. You washed them 1,000 times. The pattern faded, and eventually you binned them, which is why the surviving examples with crisp, unfaded patterns now have a genuine collector following. Particularly the short-run patterns that didn't sell well at the time and were quietly discontinued. Those are the ones people hunt for. Faded ones are worth very little. Bright ones with the pattern intact are worth many times more. Check the sides of the dishes at the back of the cupboard. Seriously. Item 11. Denby stoneware. Denby was the other great British kitchen name of the decade. Heavy, hand-glazed stoneware in arabesque, green wheat, troubadour. It was built to survive, which means a lot of it did. Common pieces are worth little. But Denby made teapots, casseroles and coffee pots in shapes that broke easily and were used constantly. Those are scarce now. A complete arabesque coffee set in good order is worth genuinely more than most people expect for something they remember as everyday kitchenware. Right. That's the kitchen. Let's move into the front room because this is where the money starts. Item 10. Teak furniture, the sideboard. The nest of tables. The dining set with the tapered legs. G Plan, Ercol, Macintosh. Nathan. Solid teak, made in Britain, in almost every household that could stretch to it. And then in the 90s, everyone decided it was old-fashioned and dumped it. Skips across the country were full of teak sideboards. Mid-century modern is now one of the strongest furniture markets there is. A genuine G Plan or Ercol sideboard in original condition, original handles, no stripped-back refinishing, routinely sells in the hundreds, and the designer pieces climb well past that. Ercol in particular has a devoted following. If you have a teak sideboard you are about to take to the tip, don't. Check the maker's stamp first. It's usually inside a drawer or on the back panel. Item 9. Dinky and Corgi. Every British boy in the 70s had a shoebox of these under the bed. Corgi, Dinky, matchbox. Die-cast metal, made in Britain, played with until the paint came off. Loose, chipped models are worth pocket change, but the value is in the box. A mint model in its original box can be worth 20 or 30 times the same model loose. And the boxes were the first thing every child threw away. That's the whole game with die-cast. The thing you were meant to discard is now the valuable half. The film and TV tie-ins are the strongest of all. If your box happens to contain something from a certain long-running spy franchise or a certain puppet series, look it up before you sell it. Item 8. The Raleigh Chopper made in Nottingham. The bike every British kid begged for. The Chopper is now a full-blown collector's item, and condition is everything. A rusted project bike found in a shed is worth modest money. But an original, unrestored Chopper in good order, correct paint, original gear stick, original seat, reaches into the high hundreds and beyond at specialist auction, with the rarer Mark II colours commanding the most. Note the word original. In this market, a careful repaint usually lowers the price. Collectors want the honest, unmessed with example, scuffs and all. Now, the ornaments. This is where it gets ridiculous. Item 7. Poole Pottery Delphis bright orange, bright red, bold abstract shapes, hand-painted, unmistakably 70s. Poole Pottery's Delphis range was sold in department stores across Britain as affordable modern art for the mantelpiece. Ordinary Delphis pieces sell in the tens of pounds. Good ones reach the hundreds. One collecting guide puts strong Delphis vases around the £500 mark. And the pieces by the named designers are in a different league entirely. Work by Tony Morris from the 60s has sold in the thousands, with one charger reaching over £5,000 at a London auction. Look at the base. Poole pieces carry an impressed dolphin mark and, crucially, a painter's monogram. That monogram is what separates a £40 vase from a £400 one. Item 6. Whitefriars glass. The textured vases, heavy, chunky glass in tangerine, kingfisher blue, cinnamon, willow, with a surface like tree bark. This is Geoffrey Baxter's textured range for Whitefriars, launched in 1967. And it sat on British windowsills throughout the 70s. Small textured pieces start around £30. Larger pieces in standard colours trade in the low hundreds. But the famous shapes, the drunken bricklayer, and above all the banjo vase, are the ones collectors chase. Published price guides put the tangerine banjo in the £700 to £1,000 range, and a drunken bricklayer sold at a UK auction for £700. One warning, and it's a real one. Whitefriars is faked. Fake drunken bricklayers in slightly wrong greens and reds circulate at fairs. Whitefriars was rarely signed, so if you think you have one, get it checked properly before you celebrate. Item 5. Troika Pottery Cornish. Rough, textured, geometric, like something dug out of an archaeological site. Troika ran from 1963 until it closed in 1983, which means every piece in existence is now vintage. Nothing new is being made. Smaller pieces sell in the low hundreds. Strong pieces reach well beyond that. One dealer listed a genuine Troika piece at nearly £2,500. The critical detail is the base. Troika pieces are marked Troika with a decorator's monogram, and those initials matter enormously to collectors. Certain decorators command far higher prices than others. If you have one, photograph the base before you do anything else. Item 4. 1970s. Costume jewellery, quick one, because it's where people lose money without realising. 70s costume jewellery gets sold by weight or by the boxful at car boot sales. Most of it is worth very little. But British and Scandinavian designer pieces from the period, signed silver, modernist pendants, the studio makers, sit quietly in those same boxes. The difference between the two is a maker's mark, usually tiny, on the back or the clasp. Anyone selling a job lot of old jewellery without checking each piece is taking a real gamble. Item 3. Action Man Palitoys. Action Man was in millions of British bedrooms. Loose figures with worn paint are common and cheap. But boxed figures, complete uniform sets with all their tiny accessories, and the earlier flock hair and gripping hands versions all have serious collector demand. The pattern by now should be familiar. It's completeness and packaging that carry the value, and those are precisely the things a 7-year-old destroys within a week. Item 2. Cindy Britton's answer to Barbie, and for a while she outsold her. Cindy is genuinely undervalued relative to how beloved she was, which is exactly what makes her interesting. Original 70s Cindy dolls in good condition with original outfits are climbing steadily. Boxed examples and the discontinued outfit sets, sold separately, so rarely kept, are the ones that move. And now, number 1. If any of this is in your loft, stop the video and go and look. Item 1. Palitoy Star Wars figures. 1978, Star Wars arrives in Britain, and Palitoy, the Leicestershire toy company, releases the action figures on British cardbacks. They cost about £1.50. In 2023, a Palitoy Jawa figure with the original vinyl cape, still sealed on its original 12-back card, sold at Excalibur auctions for £26,670, smashing a pre-sale estimate of £10,000 to £15,000. That's more than 17,000 times what it cost in the shop. And here's the part that matters for British lofts specifically. The UK Palitoy cards are rarer than the American Kenner ones. Only a handful of that vinyl cape Jawa are documented to exist. A separate Palitoy Jawa set a world record at Vectis auctions at £21,600. A Princess Leia on a rare transitional card fetched over 9,000. Now, a straight word, because I'm not going to pretend otherwise. Those are the record breakers. Perfect condition, sealed, rare variants. A loose played-with figure from the same year is worth a few pounds. And that describes the overwhelming majority of them. But the seller of that £26,000 Jawa didn't know what he had. He took it to the auctioneers on a whim. That's the entire point of this list. The value was never in the things people carefully preserved. It was in the ordinary stuff. The vase on the windowsill, the jars on the shelf, the toy at the bottom of a box, that Britain used, enjoyed, and quietly threw away. So, check the loft, check the base of the vase for a monogram, check the sides of the Pyrex, check the back panel of the sideboard before it goes to the tip, and tell me in the comments, which of these did your family have? I want to know what's still sitting in your house right now. If you remember this Britain, subscribe. There's a lot more of it coming.